Alright, so let's have Capelli reach Malikov.
Somehow we both survived all that.
So, so,
You know what this means? We need to start the road trip by going on water with a very dinky fishboat.
Dr. Loomis going on a road trip? This is a different Halloween sequel than what I'm used to.
Is that an actor joke or a visual joke?
Well, it's visual because I think Malikov is resembling a bit Donald Pleasant's character. Yes, I get it, game.
It's not even like his kid's going to die. Or maybe he will die.
He's a bit sick, quote
Oh,
unquote.
look, a beam into the sky.
Yeah, we've seen it since the previous part.
Again, Sky.
And again, there's the fact that the Chimeras are using these devices, as you're seeing a bit all over the world, in order to terraform, with New York in the distance being the pivotal thing. And yeah, this game basically is a road trip towards New York. So 2 days later, yeah, I guess in 2 days nothing happened, and Capelli and Malikov did not have meaningful conversations.
Did this come out after or before The Road?
After. The Road is 2009, and the book was done even before that.
Huh.
The good news is that some of these stages where you're on a vehicle of some sort moving will have usually a refill for either your health, your ammo, or both in this case. Don't ask me how Malikov got this shit. Anyway, in the meantime, what you're hearing on the radio is a set of, human shelters that are exchanging radio programs in say, oh, we have too many resources of this, but we're willing to trade, or we're looking for a missing person, so please tell us. It showcased that in 4 years, humanity has sort of adapted to this new climate of being sheltered from the Chimera, and are basically surviving with what they have. It's not too bad of an idea, and honestly, I wouldn't even have minded a spin-off. Or hell, even if this game had, an established different, completely different colony and everything. Again, following Capelli just feels odd if you want, like you guys mentioned, if you want to rewrite completely what the character is.
Alright, let me try and look at this logistically. Admittedly, Capelli was a character that we were, I'd say, I guess, the most familiar with who was alive aside from Malikov, who, due to his age, probably would not make the most mobile playable character outside of multiplayer.
The end of the previous game implied that he wanted to commit suicide, but as you can see, that didn't happen.
I guess I'm glad he didn't do that, because Lord knows the ending of 2 was bleak enough as it was. So, I'm guessing they were...
Must have lost its way from deeper waters.
This is monster similar to the one that we faced at the beginning of 2, the one in San Francisco Bay.
Sure would suck if it suddenly found new life and
No,
attacked us.
it's a corpse. It's a corpse, as you can see. Scavenged by small reapers.
Imagine if some humans actually made a home out of its corpse.
Like you said, this is a sequence that's all rail and as such allows a lot of scripting, but honestly it makes more sense of it just, completely locking you into just one set and then pretending that instead you have freedom movement, or in this case you're literally confined on the boat that's going for a fixated direction anyway.
Anyway, so, okay. Were they planning for a third game all along?
Yeah, well, yes. By the end of 2, they probably were, because the first was successful enough. Anyway, new weapon, we get back, yes, the Rossmore shotgun.
Okay, now...
Again, good, reliable. Let me just use this to read. First of all, let me test it on those blast routes, which are basically, simple to grenades. And for some reason, the secondary fire, instead of having the double barrel fire, has a separate grenade launcher from the carabine one. Okay, but why? I don't understand. Let me also use this, if I recall correctly. I'm gonna read the description in a second. Or maybe not. I'm not gonna. Go ahead, Jova.
It's like, okay, like I mentioned, the opening to this game felt a bit slapdash, like this was them in a hurry to try and make things better for people coming in, given how, obviously, the ending of 2 ruffled a few feathers. So, assuming that, this may not have been the plan from the get-go, what do you think might have been how they originally planned to start the game?
No idea. Honestly, I can't believe that this was the plan all along, nonetheless, because the way these games were written, honestly, one behind the other, it kind of gives me the idea that, they just went up as they went along.
That, you know what? That actually would not surprise me, because
Hold on.
I'm not saying that having Capelli as the protagonist of the final game was always a bad idea, but the way it's executed, it really felt like they were writing things by the seat of their pants. That ain't good.
Yeah, let me just remove a bit of the ice, please.
I'm sure it'll just be ice we have to deal with, and nothing dangerous.
Like I said, it allows from the interesting set pieces. For example, previously we saw Goliath, in the fog. So who knows what's going to happen. Because also the climate, it allows a lot of ice, and as you were about to see, when this particular village was actually infected, and abandoned, it was the middle of the Christmas season, so there are a bit of decorations. Like I said, there is a making of video of this level 2, and we talk about how they actually wanted to construct it in this particular way.
The water is shallow, but we must keep moving.
Okay, so yeah, I can definitely say that the story feels like it was being written as they went along. Not always for the worse, but oh boy, I still do wonder who thought that ending of 2 was going to be a good idea, especially without a sequel confirmed. And
Shit.
yes, I've seen Resident Evil.
Yeah, that's what they're actually called, Grims.
But wait, I thought people were supposed to be immune to that stuff. Why are there Grims?
Well, those because they're still surviving despite everything.
For me, it's more so about like now that I'm seeing the third game, like I have to consistently wonder why though. Because what? Okay, aside from the fact that it was a bad idea. Second, okay, what is okay? Fine, it's a stupid idea that you're having, but what's your plan? What exactly did you think you were going to convey, or what message are you trying to convey with this? It doesn't seem like there seems to be any reason that I've seen so far, especially because, like you guys, like we've said, Capelli is basically a different character at this point. So what exactly was the point?
It really feels like they wanted to have their cake and eat it, but it's like okay, they went, since according to Tio, they weren't expecting the backlash to that extent.
Like we've said before, for as terrible as Last of Us Part 2 was, I understood what Neil Druckmann was trying to say. Revenge is bad. He pummels that message down on our throats throughout the entire game, and it's terrible and super simplistic and doesn't need a game to explain it. But at least I understood what he was trying to say. I have no idea what was the point of killing
Hale.
like that. Sorry, Hale like that. Sorry.
Well, yeah,
to be fair,
Nathan
Nate
Hale.
is his first name. I'm gonna use a more poignant example tied also to this generation. Honestly, this is making me appreciate even more the Ratchet and Clank titles that are considered, the more quote-unquote mediocre. Because at the very least, probably thanks to having TJ Fixman as a writer, they still have some level of cohesiveness, and going from point A to point B with each game, despite everything.
Also, are those Grims flinging their crap at us?
No, rocks. Mostly because they needed to give them a range attack of some kind if they cannot get on the boat.
Wow. I mean, I know that they've been mutated into horrible monsters, but reduced to throwing rocks, guys? For shame. But yeah,
also,
no.
where did the music went?
Oh yeah, I was wondering, is this supposed to be silent for suspense, or is there supposed to be music?
More Grims on the roof of the diner.
Like maybe
Yeah,
they're going
no
for
clue.
that atmospheric vibe. I don't know, but yeah.
Except that, okay then.
That happened.
The curse strikes again. Again, the first time I played this, I did not encounter these glitches. I swear. For this particular game, the first time I played it was perfectly fine enough. We did not encounter recording curse. Yeah.
Yeah, recording curse.
Except that, like I said, in Resistance 2, I did encounter when I played it the first time the no voices glitch, but instead I did not found when I recorded it. So I don't know. Maybe my house is haunted specifically. I don't know.
The game glitches,
Maybe.
the game glitches, but only when it feels like it.
So I
Well, I'm
think,
prima donna.
so I think part of why I'm so confounded by this is like, with something like Last of Us 2, it felt malicious how they did Joel like that and all the really bad stuff done in it. But like Pedro mentioned, it still felt like there was a purpose. Here, I can't even say that Killing Hale felt the most malicious, at least in nature of the devs, since I get the inkling that they...
At least they didn't... For this one, they did not introduce a retcon to justify what Capelli did. The closest was, again, he speculated at the beginning if Hale wanted to die, but that's just his impression. And the phrasing strongly implies that it's just Capelli coping with the situation more than anything.
Which is another thing.
The truth of the matter is that to some degrees, this franchise still leaves a couple of quests, not necessarily important, but some things are left open to interpretation for the sake of, leaving an air of mystery. Like in this case, again, would Hale still would have been able to be saved, or was he completely turned and wanted to die, or was he completely forgone and just, was going to attack Capelli nonetheless? Again, we will never know. But I don't really think it's a case we necessarily need to know. I would be perfectly okay for an answer. It's just that for the time being, they didn't say anything.
I will say, like, the whole getting Capelli discharged and having him be disgraced, that feels like, again, the devs trying to appease the audience by going,
also,
well, this guy who killed Hale... Oh, sorry.
Just to mention quickly what Malikov noted, this is what I was mentioning in the previous game. Now with the death of Daedalus, the Chimeran is split into two factions. The one that are more technologically advanced, the hybrids with the drones and everything, and instead the more feral ones, namely noted feral, like the Leapers or the Widowmakers, they basically are on their own, and usually the hybrids tend to attack them because they're not recognized under their hive mind. This is just a speculation that Malikov is having, by the way.
It's ironic because you'd think the hybrids would be the ones taking orders
Also,
since they're the newer ones.
These droids, they have these electric shock attack that sucks away a lot of your life if you're not careful. The good thing that I am with a permanent life kit for this vehicle.
Nice. But, yeah, it's just, the whole having Capelli be disgraced thing, that feels like the equivalent of, let's say in Last of Us 3, if suddenly, to appease the audience who didn't like Abby, suddenly they have all this bad stuff happen to her and go, look, she's miserable now, doesn't that totally make up for it? It's like, I don't get it with Capelli, like, again, story-wise, he technically had more reason to do what he did than what Abby did to Joel, so even if I disliked him, I don't think we needed to do all this, especially since, okay, from what you've told me, the story doesn't even really have him reflect on killing Hale, so like...
Maybe, like I said, maybe it does in the novel, because I only read the synopsis, basically a summary of it, and maybe the details do have something like that, because it's still 4 years passing, so... Basically, what the game is telling is that the development that Capelli had in terms of coping with what he did to Nathan Hale basically has already happened, and now he has turned page and moved on with his life. Which, to be honest, it is relatively logical. It's just that it's a bit unsatisfying because we don't get to see it happening.
It's like you said, like, the problem with it being...
Oh, by the way, Malikov just jinxed it.
God damn it.
Alright. You always do that.
What's going to attack us this time?
Look, ahead of us.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like he said, the game really wants to hammer the fact that you cannot fight a Goliath in this game.
So we can't even get a cool boss fight out of it.
No. I would like to remind that this was around the same time that God of War 3 was being released. And sure, thematically it makes more sense that Kratos will be able to go toe-to-toe with a gigantic monstrosity. But I would like to remind also, we had a rocket launcher, at the beginning of a previous game. You could find a way, maybe later in the game, to... Oh, shit.
Back up, back up, back up, back up!
Yeah, Malikov.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think one thing that frustrates me about Resistance is, like, it has all this BS difficulty, but can't be bothered to give us good boss fights because, no, the few times where it's not overly difficult, we get lackluster boss fights.
Don't ask me, by the way, what is war in Russian. It's probably a curse word of some kind. Go on, Jova, sorry.
But yeah, no, like, I've never really dug games that are difficult up until the boss fights, in which case then the boss fights are just pathetic, like...
It really depends also on the game, because something like, say, Cuphead makes it a point to have, or to be honest, the thing that Cuphead was most inspired by Gunstar Heroes, so...
Like, well, Cuphead's main thing is the boss fights, but I get what you mean. But it's like, I mean, come on, guys, let us have the power fantasy of dealing with these aliens head-on. Especially since this is supposed to be the culmination.
Well, at least we left behind this Goliath. We should be good to go.
Huh, he really just let us go like that.
Well, it's still a bit slow.
Longlegs on the left.
Where?
Oh, boy.
Oh, hi, Santa.
I said on the left.
Bye,
Oh,
Santa.
not Santa! No.
Let's see if I can... There we go. Bye, Santa.
Jesus.
Ow, ow, ow.
Kudos to that boat for staying intact for all this.
And yeah, I got a trophy for that. It means, ring bells. Because
Jingle
basically you get it... Yeah, basically you get it if you manage to make the Santa sleigh fly away with the explosion.
Beautiful.
Like I said, this is not a blind run, but some of these are trophies I did not bother the first time I played, so I was like, yeah, let's give it a try, why not? It's still not platinum because, like I said, a couple of the trophies do involve either co-op, the online, or both, so there's that. On the plus side, Retribution is actually one of the possibly the easiest to platinum because it has the easiest platinum to have, which is basically play the game from start to finish and use all weapons to kill enemies. The end. Oh, and die one time, but you're gonna do that very easily. Yeah. So. Man, the bodies are piling up very fast on this ship, so we're gonna need to clean it up later.
Well, we can just dump them in the sea.
We are losing the
Liver, thank you. But yeah.
time. This boat is falling apart.
Oh well.
Longlegs straight ahead.
Well. If you forgot, the long legs are the ones that appeared already in the first level, with the prosthetic legs and they love to jump around like crickets. There we go. Again, this is probably one of the reasons why the game just gives you basically a freebie when it comes to the health kit and the ammo, because at the very least it allows you to go to town and take out a punishment, because there's virtually no cover for you to stay behind this.
I forget if you mentioned, but what's your favorite Chimera in the series?
That's actually a good question. I'm not sure what my answer would be right now. I guess I will go with Daedalus. The intros already are interesting overall, and giving one an identity possibly would have been, more interesting. Sure, you can maybe argue it might be a bit of a waste of potential because there's still so much stuff we don't know it's left purposefully mysterious, but I think, they were going somewhere with that.
I can respect
But don't get me wrong, I'm pretty okay with basically all the Chimera enemy types in these games, so... Besides, so far the franchise, has managed to, keep the goal the focus straight ahead about the humans dealing with the Chimeran invasion, so I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, that's one thing that they've kept consistent on.
Alright, are we finally safe?
Excellent. Open water.
Malikov, stop
He
jinxing!
really just had to say it, didn't he?
Have we got any tape we can put on his mouth?
Yeah, we have another Goliath ahead.
This way.
Maybe they can't see us.
Oh, two actually.
Oh, goody. Who would win? 2 Goliaths or 1 little rinky-dinky?
We died.
Oh.
Yeah, the
And
game
that
will,
was resistance free.
the game is gonna do a couple of these moments where in order to transition from level to another, where you're gonna have to a sequence where you think you're actually about to die. So
Cute.
very, very Dante's Inferno, actually, if you really get down to it. Anyway, tune in for the next part where Capelli and Malikov will continue their journey. Obviously, not anymore on the boat. See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
Duh.